Hey there, folks. BioticPlatypus here. I recorded a Skype call with atheist homophobe, like, I don't know, 20 minutes ago from when I'm recording this, which is attached to this video. It will be, that's why this video is so long. It's not just me talking. But unfortunately, the editing, or the recording process did not go well. The first program I used to record didn't really work out that well. I tried using Fraps, which it totally did not work, which is fucking weird because I've used it to record before, but today it was just like, fuck your shit, you know? So, the intro is missing, so I think in the intro, like the first, I don't know, minute, what happened was I said, I'm Brandon, and then this is atheist homophobe, and then we started talking. So I think the first clip picks up, like, I don't know, maybe 10 or 20 minutes in. Unfortunately, it says in the Skype call the time, so you can tell where time is missing if you watch it. So unfortunately, there's a intro piece missing, and there's a piece in the middle missing, but I think a fair amount of it is still intact. So just so everyone knows, I didn't edit anything out. I wouldn't do that. If there's any future conversations or anything with atheist homophobe, he should know that I have a what's the case? I have a much better choice of recording software, which is what I used to record like the second piece, and that went fine. There was no problems with that. So that'll be what I'm using from now on. Well, I'm going to be using Bandicam as the second editing or recording software. I keep saying editing. So yeah, this conversation is not edited intentionally. There's just pieces that apparently didn't get recorded. So yeah, before I fucking drag this out any longer than it already is, here is the Skype conversation between me, BioticPlatypus, and atheist homophobe.
Natural. And then stupid pro-gay atheists would say, in their minds, they're thinking, all we have to do is convince these idiots that homosexual behavior is natural, and then they should have no reason to oppose it. And then so they went on this, they went on this rage of posting everywhere. They think they have the winning argument. Gay animals are found in, they'll say homosexuality is found in many species, 400 species. You don't know what you're talking about. Homosexuality is natural, so therefore there's no reason why you should be against it. Now this is many pro-gay atheist argument, and I've adapted to their stupidity. My response argument is automatic. Every time they come to me with that bullshit, I bust they dumb ass down because they're stupid. But in your case, you're the only atheist that I know of who admitted that just because something is natural, it has nothing to do with whether it's morally right or morally wrong. Your dumbass pro-gay atheists, your fellow dumbass pro-gay atheists, are too stupid to even, either they've been deceitful or they're dumb. For you to call atheists homophobes stupid, atheists are doing the same shit. And these are pro-gay atheists. They're doing this more than any other atheist. As a matter of fact, that one guy is the only atheist that I ever heard of that's against homosexuality, that says just because something it's unnatural mean that it's wrong. And I'm not even sure if he said that. All right, but my point to you is, what you're complaining about, your own fucking fellow atheists do it the most. So you should be calling them stupid, because they always do that. They always say if it's natural, it's right, so leave it alone.
The title of the video, "A Stupid Homophobic Atheist," specifically refers to that guy. Now, although in general, when you disagree with someone, your reaction is to call them stupid and that sort of thing, The specific reason I say stupid homophobic atheist is because of what that guy was arguing. I thought that, in particular, that was stupid. That's not necessarily referring to all people
my point
who...
is, atheists all over YouTube use that same argument for the opposite reason.
The question I have for you, though, is I understand that you're saying that a lot, is that there's atheists using that argument. But what I don't understand is that I wasn't making that argument, so why are you posting comments on my videos?
I'm sorry about that, but what I want to clarify is I've adapted to pro-gay atheist stupidity. So I assume that you were spewing the same bullshit. I admit I didn't read the whole thing. I read something about gay animals. I said, here comes this gay animal shit again.
So you reacted without...
Yeah. I reacted it. I didn't even read the whole thing because in most cases, and I'm sure you would, anybody that reads these YouTube videos and is about this homosexuality shit, they know that people always use the gay animal assertion as a way to argue for homosexuality as it being not immoral. They use this argument. It's as a matter of fact, the argument you saying is stupid is the most common argument used by atheists for homosexuals, in favor of homosexuals. But the only difference is they're using it to say that it is morally right, or they're using it. They're trying to say that it's not immoral because it's in nature.
I'm not saying that you haven't heard that. What I'm saying is I haven't heard that, and I'm assuming that there are people who say that. I'm not doubting you, but I would agree that that's the wrong way to go about the argument, unless the person you're trying to convince is specifically saying that moral is, natural.
Right, you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. My name on YouTube is atheist homophobe, right?
Yeah.
They would automatically say, I never mention anything about homosexuality being natural, unnatural. I never mention that because I know it is completely irrelevant. I just know they're going to bring up gay animals. I just wait for them so I can bust their argument down. So I don't even have to mention it. They mention it. They'll say, well, did you know over 400 species practice homosexual behavior? And how could you say that it's wrong? And they come to me with that. They're basically saying a lot of animals do it, so therefore it's nothing wrong with it. That's their argument. That is pro-gay atheist argument for homosexual behavior. Way more than atheists use that argument more than anything. And so I would say a lot of atheists are not as smart as they think they are. They're just as biased and illogical as many Christians when it comes to homosexual behavior. And the reason why is because just like Christians, they have an agenda that is emotionally driven. Anytime you have an agenda that's emotionally driven, you're likely to find some irrational claims, and that is exactly what many atheists are doing.
All right. I want to just mention real quick that we have agreed on a few things so far. That the argument on whether something is natural or unnatural is completely irrelevant. So
yeah, and I think you should tell that to your thousands of pro-gay atheists who's all over the internet using gay animals as an attempt to persuade people to embrace homosexual behavior. I think you should be telling them that, not me.
The only reason I'm telling you this is like I know you admitted that you reacted, which I do offer some respect for that you admitted you were quick to judge. But the only reason I'm mentioning this is because of the comments you posted. So I wouldn't have just started talking to you about that.
The only reason why I was quick to react because I've adapted to an atheist environment, an atheist YouTube environment. Humans adapt. If certain behaviors are going around them, they learn how to react. And so basically, I just reacted to a pro-gay atheist environment. What I don't understand, I'm sure you heard pro-gay atheists use this argument. Why you never check them? Why you never tell them? that something natural or unnatural has nothing to do with whether it's moral or immoral. Why haven't you told them that?
Well, that's what the point of that video was. Is that I thought that was a completely irrelevant point because that guy was an atheist. He was anti-gay, and that part is not really relevant to that particular thing you just brought up. But the point was that I was arguing against that argument, and by extension, that argument should be considered valid against anyone who uses that argument in general. Natural and unnatural are completely irrelevant to the subject.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, it's just that I understand you probably support homosexual behavior or whatever, but that might have something to do with why you never check atheists, the ones who also support gay marriage and homosexual behavior. Why you never check them when they use the gay animal assertion to argue in favor of homosexual behavior, as if it's supposed to be a good argument to convince someone that homosexual behavior is moral.
Well, I probably would call atheists out on that, but like I mentioned earlier, I haven't personally seen that, so I can't argue with something I haven't seen.
I've seen that over and over and over again, and then when I saw you mention gay animals,
I see where.
In fact, you mentioned gay for some reason. If that's the case, why do? Okay, I understand that atheists probably mention gay animals because a lot of Christians claim that it's unnatural.
Right.
But the atheists come back and say, "Aha, I caught you," and then they'll say it is natural, and then they figure they basically plan on Christians' ignorance. They figure if they can convince Christians that it's natural, Christians will accept it, knowing that has nothing to do with whether it's moral or immoral in the first place. They're using Christians' ignorance against them in a deceitful manner, knowing that it's the gay animals being natural has nothing to do with whether it's moral or immoral in the first place. So why are they trying to play ignorance against the more ignorant? See, they can't do me like that. They don't even mention gay animals. So they pick on Christians that don't know any better and just take advantage. I think that's just wrong. That's immoral. To know something, to know your argument is invalid. Knowing your argument is invalid, either they're stupid or they know that argument is invalid, but yet they use it against Christians anyway.
On a personal level, I'm talking about me, not what any other atheists do. I think that when someone brings up an argument, you should argue with that and not argue with anything else. So, if a Christian says to me that homosexuality is unnatural, I'm going to argue with that. And then if they argue about the morality of it, then I'll argue about that. But I won't use one in place of the other.
What if they say homosexual behavior is immoral because it's unnatural?
Well, the first step is to establish that it is natural by pointing to animals, which if you were just using that to establish that it was moral, that would be inappropriate to use as an argument. But if they're saying that, that it's unnatural, therefore it's wrong, the first step is to eliminate the thought that it's unnatural, and then you can say, well, that's not a reason to say that it's immoral. Then you can ask them for a different reason as to why it's immoral.
Okay, but that's kind of like a... And then people who are not critical, Christians who are not critical thinkers would assume that you're saying that because it's natural or unnatural, because it's natural, that means it's moral. They will assume that that's what you mean. But see, what you said, it doesn't mean it's immoral, but you didn't mention that it doesn't mean that it's moral either. It doesn't mean that I was moral or immoral. See, that's what they do. That's what atheists do. They'll say it means that it's immoral, but they won't say that they'll say it doesn't mean that it's immoral, but they would not say they mean that it doesn't mean that it's moral. They'll keep the moral out. They'll just say it doesn't mean it's immoral. And then they'll just leave the moral opinion open to the person, but they will attack any claim that claims homosexual behavior is immoral. But they'll just leave it open for them to choose if it's moral or not, knowing that being it natural doesn't mean that it's moral either. I probably got a little confused, but I'm sure you know what I mean. I'm basically saying that. I mean, I used to respect my fellow atheists. I used to think they were so smart. But as soon as I started arguing with them about gay marriage and homosexual behavior, I started to realize that some of them are just as fucked up as Christians. They're just as deceitful. They're just as emotional. They're emotionally driven, just like Christians. They're illogical, just like Christians. They use people's ignorance against them. Like, you take some Jehovah's Witnesses. If they find somebody that knows nothing about religion, they would use that against them. And atheists do the same shit regarding homosexual behavior. If they find somebody that don't know enough about science and morals and natural and unnatural, they use that against them to benefit their agenda. It's like homosexuality is like the atheist religion.
I don't know if I'd consider that to be all that true. I know plenty of atheists, like yourself, who do not accept homosexuality, and there's plenty of religious people who accept homosexuality. So I don't think that alone is a particular anchoring point.
Well, when I say it's like a religion, my point is, okay, I would say it's the emotions, the emotional attachment, and the agenda, and just the whole. It's like it's really heartfelt to them. It's huge to them. It's, homosexuality is huge to them. It's a huge part of many atheists' identity. I'm not going to say all atheists, but many atheists, it is a huge deal. If you say I oppose gay marriage, they think you're Hitler. It's almost like you're like the devil. Like, how Christians say, how could you not believe in God? How could you say God is wrong? You're evil. Atheists say, how could you say something wrong with homosexual behavior? You're a bigot. I hate you. I don't want to be around you. You're a lowlife. You shouldn't be living. Same as Christians saying, oh, how could you not believe in God? You're a lowlife. God gave you you breathe because of God. It's the same type of, it could view the same type of hate and emotions.
I know that you might not see it this way, but I'm going to try to describe the point of view, the point of view of someone who's pro-gay,
okay,
and why they would react that way.
Okay.
Let's say that I don't know. I got to think of an example here. I'm not doing this for any particular reason. I'm not trying to compare the situation totally. I'm just, analogy-wise. Let's say that being Chinese was illegal, right? And the Chinese people were insisting, this is how we are. We can't change that. And basically people were telling them, well, you're unnatural. We need to get rid of you. Naturally, their reaction would be that that's completely unfair. You shouldn't feel that way. We're humans like you. So it's kind of obvious that emotion would be very much invested in it.
What you just meant? Are you done or?
Pretty much.
Okay, what you just mentioned made me realize that they're in fact like religious people, because religious people, they get all upset because they have this God delusion. They think God is by their side or whatever. They really believe in God, right? And because they really believe in God, if you say something about God, they get highly offended because of the delusion. If they knew God wasn't real, they wouldn't get upset. So they're getting disappointment based on it all starts with their delusion. They think God exists. They did not think God exists. They wouldn't even be getting upset. Now, you compare a behavior to a race. Okay?
The comparison that I'm making is that gay people are born that way, and I don't know if you believe that. I don't actually know because that never came up before. But the comparison is that it's not really about race or anything like that. It's that that's how they were born. They can't change that about themselves.
Okay, but here's the difference. First of all, not all gays were born that way. Okay, anybody who thinks every single gay person who's gay was born that way, they just been ill informed. Okay, there are studies about late life lesbians showing that they were in fact straight. They weren't pretending, they were straight. A study by Lisa Diamond shows they were straight, and events, whatever happened in their life, made them go gay. Okay, there's some one of the largest twin study shows even trauma, abuse, all that stuff could influence a person to go gay, mainly as a child. Okay, there's some other evidence that's showing that gay people are more likely to have gotten abused as a child. Okay, now we can't say there's no evidence that they got abused because they were gay, but there's a possibility that when they got abused, it could have had an effect on their brain development, because brain development between females and males is differs by sequence, and timing and stuff. So sure, there could have been some people born gay, and even if they were born gay, they're born more likely to have a desire to practice a behavior. See, there's a difference between being born to have a desire to practice a behavior versus being born with certain genes. All right, a person could be born to want to drink, to want to become an alcoholic. Some people are predisposed to alcohol. They were born with a predisposition to want to drink. Some people are born predisposed to smoking. They're more likely to want to smoke. And that has been proven to be genetic based. So all these behaviors, they were born with it. Some people are born wanting to smoke. Some people are born wanting to drink alcohol. Some people are born to sexually be attracted to little kids. None of them can help it. But that's different. You're born to have a desire to behave. And there's other dumb claim that a lot of pro-gay atheists make. They say that homosexuality is not a choice, or they say homosexual behavior is not a choice. No. The homosexual desire is not a choice, but the behavior is clearly a choice. Homosexual behavior is a choice.
Can I ask you a question about that?
Yeah.
Assuming it's totally a choice, let's just pretend for a second that nobody is born with the thought of being with someone of the same sex. Why is that bad?
Well, first of all, it's the same reason why smoking and prostitution is bad. It increases health risks.
Okay. Do you think that smoking should be illegal?
I don't think homosexuality should be illegal. I don't think smoking should be illegal. I think they shouldn't be. I believe smoking. First of all, I never said homosexual behavior should be illegal.
That's fair enough. You didn't say that.
Okay. And I also didn't say smoking should be illegal. Okay. My point is, as far as my code of ethics, it is wrong to embrace high health risk behaviors.
So you're saying you personally don't want to smoke or do things like that?
Yeah, and I wouldn't embrace it. I wouldn't go out and say they should smoke or support gay marriage. I don't embrace it.
So what's the end game for you?
The end game, I think that homosexual behavior should be legal, but not embraced. Okay,
Do
I
you think
think
it should be advocated against? Or should it
it,
just be kind of left alone and not particularly mentioned or anything?
well, see, here's the problem. When they try to use psychology and the mass media to pressure people into embracing it, and then the the attempt to embrace it should be advocated against. See, I'm saying if they weren't trying to embrace it, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But they trying to pressure people into embracing it. That's what I have a problem with.
Well, I think the reason they would try to influence people to think differently about homosexuality is because a difference between, let's say, smoking and gay people or homosexual behavior is that if you're a smoker, you're probably not going to be physically harmed by other people because of that. It's not really that likely.
Wait. Uh-huh.
And I really wish I had like a link to this, but I
Yeah, but that you know what that is?
what?
That is of killing the pity. You know what? That's like saying,
Well, what they're trying to do is destroy the thought that violence should be used against people who you disagree with, because there was a man who was not gay, but he hugged his teenage son and was beaten up because people thought he was gay, like teenagers or something. They thought he was gay, so they thought, well, let's teach him a lesson.
Yeah, but that's wrong. But what I believe is what gay actors are doing. They're saying, okay, since they're beating gays and everybody knows that's wrong, just use that to appeal to emotion so we can convince the masses to embrace homosexual behavior altogether. See, there's a difference between violence against gays and embracing the behavior. They're using violence against gays to use that to appeal to emotions to persuade people to embrace homosexual behavior.
I could be wrong, but I'm assuming that if nobody ever had a problem with gay people ever in the course of human history, that there would never be, there wouldn't be a cause to support gays because there would never have been any emphasis put on the fact that they're different. So I feel like this is more of a reaction to the fact that they've had trouble than just deciding to embrace gay people.
And know what? Actually, they're basically saying, I think what's going on is they see that they can appeal to emotions, okay, by violence. As a matter of fact, there has been cases where a gay man have lied about being beaten and made a big story on it. It was on the news, come and find out it was a lie. So gays are clearly, see, just like I said, these are two different things. You know what? That's like saying, stop beating illegal immigrants. By the way, support them to become citizens. That it's the same thing. It's wrong to beat illegal immigrants. Therefore, you should embrace them becoming citizens, even though they snuck over here.
Well, they're breaking laws, though. That is a difference.
I know, but the bottom line is it's the same type of tactic. There's a big difference between beating gays, being violent towards gays, and embracing their behavior. You cannot. It's very possible to not embrace their behavior without. I've never beat gays. The only thing, one time in my entire life, I call a gay man a faggot because he flirted with me. But I see gays all the time. I don't attack them or beat them up or call them names. But I don't embrace homosexual behavior. They on the internet saying don't beat gays. Gays are getting beat, so therefore embrace their behavior.
Hold that thought. I'll be right back, like really quick. Sorry.
All right.
Okay. Do you Do you agree with what I said about my hypothetical situation where if gays had never been any different than anybody else, that there would not be any kind of push to embrace them? Do you think that would be the case?
It did not be any. No, I don't think that's the case because if you look at history, gays have always tried to win over heterosexuals. They always try to do something to make people think that they're normal. Even the word gay, the gay meant happy. They were so desperate to convince people that there's nothing wrong with them. They took a word that means happy and named themselves that. That's how desperate they were to make people think that they're good, harmless, happy people. And it didn't work. Now gay has turned into a bad thing. What gays do not understand is humans have a behavioral immune system. Humans naturally stigmatize behavior that poses health risks. It's natural. Anytime, I'm going to tell you what's just as natural as homosexual behavior. Homophobia is just as natural as homophobic behavior because it has occurred in all countries, all nations, one time or another, in all time periods. Okay, and this other thing that's constant. Gay men have always had the highest rates of STD in every country, every culture, all over the world, regardless of income status, or they just have higher STD rates worldwide, and homophobia is worldwide. Why are those two things so common? Why is STD rates of gay men so common? Why is homophobia so common? It is because homophobia is a reaction to the STD rates of gay men. Humans naturally stigmatize behavior that is bad for the species. It's called an evolutionary behavioral immune system. I think that the behavioral immune system should be understood and regulated. I tried that, but they call it hate. They say it's hate speech. Every mention the STD rates, gay men, I get some atheists trying to challenge, and he loses all the time. They hate the truth. So that's what I believe homophobia should be. Should not be violent, but I believe that it does serve a purpose. Okay, and that is it is very difficult for a human to embrace a behavior that is a high health risk. Gays are trying to go against millions of years of evolution, and it's even if they succeed. As a matter of fact, every nation who convinced their population to embrace homosexual behavior, it was always an uprising against homosexual behavior in their near future. Ancient Greece embraced it. What the hell happened? And a lot of atheists don't understand religion. Religion is a psychological immune system. Okay? And the psychological immune system and the behavior immune system works together. The psychological immune system is like reduces stress. That's why religion exists. It helps reduce stress and it helps deal with things. And it also enforces morals that they don't understand. Morals are rooted in survival instinct. So humans' morals are rooted in survival instinct. That is why behaviors that for some reason, the behaviors that happen to be high health risk just so happen to be stigmatized. This is not God saying stigmatize that behavior. This is their behavioral immune system saying stigmatize that behavioral immune system, and then they use religion to enforce it. Atheists don't understand that.
That's interesting. I've never actually heard that before.
Religion enforces the behavioral immune system. Because humans don't understand the behavioral immune system, they use their psychological immune system. The psychological immune system enforces values that were developed by the behavioral immune system. This is some new shit, and I'm the only atheist that's up on it, because atheists are biased, and just like Christians, they can't stand the truth when it threatens their agenda. Christians don't want to hear it because it threatens their agenda. Atheists don't want to hear it, so it threatens their agenda. So I'm all alone, but I'm cool with that. It makes me proud.
As far as the STDs things go, how do you think homosexuality itself increases risk of STDs?
Because being the fact that with two men, there's naturally no vagina available or desired. Being the fact that there's naturally no vagina available or desired, then that increases the chances of them having anal sex.
So anal sex is the problem?
Yes. And gay men will always have more anal sex because there is simply no vagina available. And also, a study shows that a region in some gay men's brain is more like the opposite sex of their own. So they're naturally going to have the sexual behaviors similar to a female's. And then the fact that men don't have a vagina, then the closest thing to a vagina is the anus.
So you think that it's not necessarily the gay part, it's the anal sex part?
Yeah, but the gay part is what causes the anal sex part, because being the fact
well, what about straight couples that have anal sex? Is that the same risk?
Yeah, but it's very rare. It's being the fact that straight couples have a vagina available. Okay, unless the man is a bisexual. Now, if the man is bisexual, in which some cases they won't tell us, okay, then he might want to convince the woman to do anal. But anal sex is rare. I mean, there's some studies that shows heterosexuals have done it, but there's no studies that show that even 5% of heterosexuals do it on a regular basis. See, there's a difference between trying it and doing it as a common sexual practice.
So what diseases spring from anal sex?
Every chlamydia, gonorrhea, HIV, syphilis, HPV. Also, gay men are more likely to do oral sex too. Oral sex increases the risk of throat cancer, and gay men are 17 times more likely to have anal cancer. Check CDC. They're 17 times more likely to have anal cancer. And
I've never heard the throat cancer thing before. Can you source that one?
Just use the shit for a pussy. And he has to me, that's a part of being a man. Maybe some people don't have a problem with gay, don't think men liking women has nothing to do with a man. But I look at it, I clearly distinguish between men and women. I don't even talk to women like I talk to men. I talk to men in a certain way, and I talk to women in a certain way. It's like if she's a woman, you gotta handle her gently. You gotta watch what just certain things. They're women. They're different. So when a gay man comes along, to me, if he likes men, a part of him is a woman. And I'm like this, okay, a part of him is a woman, but I can't treat him like a woman, and I can't treat him like a man. That's truly how homophobes think. How are we supposed to treat them? We can't treat them like women.
Well, I think the way you should probably think about this, I mean, I know I'm not really going to change your mind on anything here, but when you're dealing with a gay guy, think of him mostly as a guy and what he does behind closed doors with other consenting adults is
I,
not really all that important anyway.
I, you know what? I said something. I can't do that. I was in this place the other day, right? And I said something, and he said I can't get in there neither. And then I was thinking to myself, okay, this dude's acting like a woman. He's switching or whatever. And I just thought to myself, okay, I can't treat him like a woman. Then I said he's not a man. It has nothing to do with what he does behind closed doors. It's the fact that he likes men. It's like to me, a part of the definition of a woman is a woman who likes men. Uh, that is the definition of a woman. If to me a part of being a man is liking women. He doesn't like women, I don't care. It has nothing to do with what he does behind. The fact is he likes men. I don't care what he does. He likes men. I don't think about what he does behind his glove. Even if he never had sex, the dude likes men. And to me, that's like, okay, you're a man and you like men. I don't even know what to say. I can't treat you like a man because I'm thinking, how the hell could I treat him like a man if he got a major characteristic of a woman? And as a matter of fact, studies show the region in their brains is like a woman's. So that's how we think. How the hell are we gonna treat him like a man if if a major characteristic is like a woman? I can't treat him like a woman.
The thing about this treating men like men and women like women is it strikes me as more like I don't know what to call it, courting behavior, I think, is what I'm trying to go for. I don't treat women differently unless I'm dating them. Then I act more gentlemanly and that sort of thing. But in general, most of my friends are women. I have less guy friends, and I treat them about the same. I talk to them the same way,
You know what?
talk about the same sorts of things, and the sexual preference of either side, lesbians or gay men.
Yes. You know what? That's why I think that the difference between you and I is gendered views. My views are gendered. You know, the world I see is gendered. This is a woman. This is a man. Like I'm not gonna if my friend get in the car, I'm not gonna open the door and like you a man, you open your own damn door. Or it's it's not gonna say, man, oh you look beautiful today. I'm not gonna give no man no damn candy for Valentine's Day. Have you ever heard? Listen, why doesn't sons give their dads Valentine's Day candy? Why? Because they're not women.
I don't
Why?
know. I've never
Because
given my father Valentine's candy.
thank you. Where if a man is more likely to give his mother something like that, roses, my views are gendered. And that's just, and I think that gendered roles evolved. It's an evolutionary social behavior that has been beneficial to humans. It helps us as far as courting and mating. It sets us up for mating. We have, if you're single, every woman, the women around you are potentials. Okay, and your female relatives, they're still women. It's like, I think Christians don't understand it. It all revolves around procreation. It's like, it's so deep in our culture and views, and it has been beneficial. Women raise their sons to be more attractive to the opposite sex. People raise their daughters to be more attractive to the opposite sex. What do men like more? Brush your teeth. Women don't like no man with no stinky breath. Clean your vagina. Men don't like no woman with no stinky vagina. Clean the house. Men don't like a dirty house. It's just, men need to go out and work and stay in shape. Men, that's what women like. It's like, what the gay activists are trying to do, they're trying to downplay gender roles.
I think there's a fundamental difference of opinion here as far as the gender roles thing. So I think a lot of what might come up from now on between people like you and me isn't really going to be productive, because I grew up in a household where my parents were basically evenly divided between their time with me and my older sister. They both worked, and they both spent about the same amount of time with us. My dad spent a little bit more time with me than my mom when I was a lot younger, because he wanted to make sure that I learned how to walk and stuff like that appropriately. But to me, a woman is not necessarily the person who takes care of the kids and like
Yeah, but I'm
fixes the
not
house up and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I'm not even talking about stuff like that. It's just stuff like open the doors, like, you got to help them with bags.
That's another difference, actually, is that the places I've grown up in, everyone's more independent from one another in that respect. We open our own doors, or the person who gets to the door first usually holds it open for everyone else. That sort of thing. Like, it's less about the gender of the person. It's more about just being either helpful or independent from one another. So we've grown up in different environments, I see.
Yeah, but see, that's just like I said. Most gay people seem not know this, but homophobia has a lot to do with your gendered views. But see, the thing about this is, there's nothing wrong with having gender views. Know what? Listen to the song for a second. It's just, hold on for a second.
Did you say song?
Yeah, it's a song called "Treat Her Like a Lady."
I don't know if that's a good idea. I'll listen to it after the conversation, but I don't want to get like an account strike or anything for copyrighted material, if you don't mind.
Okay. Yeah, but anyway, the song goes, "Treat her like a lady. The cigarette that she smokes, even help her with the coke. Treat her like a lady. Treat her like a lady." It's like a song about, she's a lady, so she get treated like a lady. Women dress a certain way, treat them like a lady. We've evolved this behavior for successful mating. If we treat the opposite sex a certain way, we increase our chances of being attractive.
I'd say that song, in the case of me and about everyone I know, that applies to people you're dating, but in general that wouldn't matter if it was just somebody you know.
Yeah, but you don't know who you're going to end up dating. See, when you're going
when I start to develop a romantic interest in someone, then I start treating them differently, kind of to show that I'm interested. If I treat everyone like that, then it's not as obvious. So that's why people where I grew up don't do stuff like that in general.
Okay, so you're saying that where you grow up, men open the doors for men just like they do women, and they give men roses and candies and.
Giving roses and candies isn't something friends do for each other where I grew up. That's what you do for people you're interested in.
All right, and how about your family? Are you more like? Yeah, are you more likely to give your father roses or your mother roses?
For like Valentine's Day?
Yeah.
I don't give people I'm related to stuff on Valentine's Day because
basically we all know that. Come on now, is women, and as a matter of fact, there have been some studies that show women talk to men differently, and men talk to women differently. This is some scientific facts, even on an unconscious level. So even if you say you're not raised like that, it's still on an unconscious. It's an unconscious thing. A lot of women would not vote for Hillary Clinton because they feel that it should be a man should do it.
That is true.
And I think that what gays are trying to do, they're going against what atheists are doing. They're going against millions of years of evolution. It's going to backfire. And know what? I think millions of years of evolution is more powerful than making people feel sorry for gays. And they're going to learn the hard way.
Meaning what?
I think just like every society that embraced homosexuality, it was in a huge uprising against it.
So when do you think this would happen? Like,
probably, I would say what's probably going to happen is they're going to embrace homosexuality behavior even more. They're going to keep embracing it even more. The STD rates will no longer can be ignored, and it's going to start to get out of hand. And people are going to start worrying about the health of society more than gays. And it's starting to happen just a little bit, you know. And people, CDC is throwing hints. They saying stuff like we're worried about gay men with this new drug-resistant gonorrhea. You know, we need to fix it before it starts affecting the heterosexual population. It's very mild now, but as the rates increase, if gays really want to stop homophobia, decrease your STD rates. That's how to stop homophobia. And then they probably have to lie about that.
do you recognize that a lot of homophobes are not homophobic for that reason?
Homophobes are homophobe because a lot of them just have this, you're not a fucking woman, why the fuck are you look? I understand them. I agree that they're, okay, first of all, this whole claim about homophobes being gay, as a matter of fact, before I say this, I want to mention something else that I discovered. I just recently started dating a woman, right?
Okay.
Sister's gay. This is what she told me. It's in the lesbian community, especially in Detroit, because she's from Detroit. Now, I'm not making this up. She said that lesbians are going gay because they're worried about men on the down low giving them STDs, and they figure they're safe with women. So homophobia is making women gay.
That's really bizarre. I've never heard of that.
I said, what? I had a hunch, and she told me. I swear I would bring her over here and make a video about it. She said women, and now as I understand why lesbians are so quick to call a man a down low homo, because that helps them. If they can convince women that the men who hate gays are gay, and the men who love gays might be gay, then they're winning. They're scaring the shit out of women. Who the hell could women trust if the man who hates gays are gay and the man who loves gays are gay? You can't trust nobody. You might as well just go with a woman.
This whole thing about men who are like gay on the down low, that's all very different to me. I've never actually heard any of that before, so I don't really know what to say about any of that.
You know what? It goes back to that old saying, birds of a feather flock together. I mean, that's common sense. If a man is hanging out with gays, I'm not saying he's gay, but there's a good possibility that he might be gay. I mean, that's common sense. If a person is hanging out with gangbangers and drug dealers, there's a good chance they might be involved in some way. I'm not saying that we're sure that increases it. No, they're basically saying if you hate gays, it means you're gay. If you love gays, it means you're straight. That is just, now that's bizarre.
I think the thing is if you're gay, you're gay. If you are extremely anti-gay, like most Republican senators who invariably get caught in a fucking bus station bathroom with a male prostitute, is that those particular guys who said they were straight, ended up gay, were raised in an environment where they were taught that gay people were evil and wrong, and they grew up knowing they were gay, knowing what they were being told, hating themselves, having to keep it secret, and trying to throw off suspicion by projecting that they hate gay people.
Okay, I have a question for you. How many Republican senators are there?
I don't know.
Hundreds. What, thousands? Hundreds? Hundreds. Now, how many were being gay?
Let's see. I can't name like that many off the top of my head. I could probably get it like a detailed list at some other time, but I don't want to do it right now.
If there are 500 Republican senators and 20% are gay, that's a very low percentage to make a outrageous claim that if you hate gays, it means you're gay. You know what?
Do you see what I mean? Is the guys who make the loudest claptrap about gays, there's a good chance that they're doing it for a very specific reason. Now, that's not to say that all people who hate gays are gay.
You know what? Actually, the loudest people are the ones who actually attack gays. Now, that's what you call it. If you violently attack gays, then you are more homophobic than those Republican senators. Now, how many people who have actually attacked gays turned out to be gay?
By attack, you mean physical violence or harm?
Yeah, that's speaking of that's over just talking about it. You're actually attacking them.
That's why I specifically said loudest claptrap, like noise making, talking.
But so you said if you talk the loudest. Okay, I have a question. How about in the 1950s, to where like 90% of the men hated gays? So were they mostly gay?
Were they sitting in a pulpit screaming their heads off that gays are evil and violent and icky and gross and we don't like them?
Yeah, but they were.
That wasn't 90% of people like that. I'm talking about a really elevated level of.
There were more homophobes back then. In the 1950s, there were more homophobes. There were more people willing to speak out against it. Okay, they hated it in the past, in the 50s, even more, right? They hated it way more, and since they hated it way more, then since most men were homophobic back then. So you're saying that a large percentage of old men are gay.
I'm not saying percentage or statistics. I'm saying that many have been.
I know, but you're talking about out of millions. You know what? That's like me saying if you're white, you're probably a serial killer because there's a lot of white serial killers.
Okay.
It's the same logic. In other words, there's a lot of people that could be white that are not serial killers. There's a lot of people that hate gays. The millions of people hate gays who are not. How about there's 90% of people they all hate gays in Uganda and Jamaica. Are they all gay?
That's something we can't really know, so I won't say one way or the other.
But according to statistics, it's constant at between 2 and 5%. What happened is the gay population is constant. Is on a constant level, regardless of the level of homophobia.
Yeah, because that wouldn't make a difference.
That means if a country is more homophobic, the gay population is still the same, which means that there's no correlation in cause between homophobia and the population of gay people. Of course, there would be. First of all, there are men who hate gays that it could be gay. There are men who love gays that could be on the down low. I'm sure there's a lot more men who say they love gays and claim they're straight, but they're really gay. So It works both ways. It's not just the men who hate gays. There's men who love gays and claim they're straight, and they're gay too.
Why would they keep it a secret, though, if they're openly supporting it?
It could be because they don't want to get stigmatized.
Suppose that's true.
So, as a matter of fact, I think it's probably more men who love gays that are gay than the men who hate gays that are gay. And also, homophobia is more like so you're saying depending on how loud they speak out against it, that can be controlled. They can choose to speak out against it or not. Just because they speak out against it, speaking out against something doesn't determine your sexual orientation.
The point is that if you just said it's totally up to them how much they speak out against it.
Yeah.
If they were, if they're choosing to scream about it and really, really be upset about it in a very public way, like they're somebody who somehow has attention, like Ted Haggard, who, of course, turned out to be secretly gay.
No way. You have to remember, all these people who did that came out gay. They had an agenda to appeal to the public. So it's not just that they're homophobic. They have an agenda to appeal to the public, and the audience that you're trying to impress are anti-gay.
Yes.
So, as a matter of fact, in almost every case, if the audience is anti-gay, they want to speak out against gays, regardless of their sexual orientation. If your audience is Christian, it's like rules of speaking. You know, you adapt to your audience. You learn your audience, and you tell them what you want, what they want you to hear. So that's completely different from the regular homophobic that's just disgusted by gays. These public figures have an agenda, and they have financial gain to where what they say to the audience determines their support. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this whole thing about because the Republicans are gay, it means because Republicans homophobes are gay, that means everybody who hates gays is gay. That's flawed logic. They have to consider all other factors.
Well, I certainly wouldn't make the case that all people who hate gay people are gay. So.
All right, you know what? I have to get going. I got things to
do. Me too, actually. So.
All right, we got some things cleared away, and I guess that's it.
I just want to warn you ahead of time, the software I was using to record this at the start was really screwing up, so there might be pieces missing. I don't actually know yet. If there's anything you feel like was missing that was really important, we can bring it up again at some future point.
All right, that's cool. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see the video. All right, take care.
You too.